Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for joining me. Today we'll be looking at our first rimfire in the series. So I have for you a 455 from CZ. Okay, let's get this particular model is 455 synthetic carbon. Now, in this video, I'll give you a bit of a look at this gun from probably back to front. I'll give you a little bit of history about how I've dealt with CZ in the past, what I think about their rifles, in particular the Rimfire range, and we'll just kick it off and go from there. So this particular rifle was bought a number of years ago before the 457 was released. So the 457 is the current model, this is the predecessor. The 457s are a bit different, they have a shorter bolt throw. This particular gun is a synthetic stock. Now this is a very solid synthetic stock, so it does sound a little bit, obviously it has that bit of hollow synthetic sound when you give it a tap, but I can assure you it is rock solid. There's no movement, there's no wiggle. It is just about as tough as they get. And this gun has been put through quite a lot as well. So this has probably had maybe 10,000 rounds of 22 through it, and probably not enough cleaning. I tend to get a bit lazy with my 22 cleaning, but it shoots really good, so I don't tend to touch it too much until accuracy starts to degrade. So from this, you can see it's got very classic stock lines. And as we work our way up, I'll just work the action for you guys so you can see that obviously there's nothing in there. I'll remove the magazine. Magazine is empty. So I'll work the action as well, just so you can see there's nothing in the chamber. So with the action on these, I find that the actions from the CZ Rimfires are actually significantly smoother out of the box than their centerfires are. This particular one, it's obviously been broken in quite a lot because I fired a lot of rounds through it and I've taken it hunting and I've done a lot of target shooting with it. But it was always quite smooth. There is a little bit of pressure putting the bolt down, but nothing that you wouldn't expect from any rifle. Now the safety on this thing is sort of a side flag safety. So you can see a little red dot there. If you push that forward, that means you've locked your bolt and you've now put the gun on safe. So let's just pop that back. I'm not going to dry fire this because it's really not very good to dry fire 22 long rifles or any rimfires. You can damage the firing pins on them quite easily. This is currently wearing a 4.5 to 18 power Zero Tech, which I think is more than enough for most 22s. This one has actually been used with, as you can see from the tape here, with a night vision clip on. So that was just to shore that up. I found this scope to be really quite good for the money. As we work our way forward, the actual machining of the action is really, really solid, really good. I've never had any problems with any of the CZ products with the quality of the machine work that they do. It's all been pretty exceptional, especially when you consider the price that they're charging, or at least we're charging in particular for this model. So everything's really good. I think it's got some sports match rings on it, but it's been that long, I honestly can't remember. Now, I've also got a sling on this one, just a light little leather sling that has some cartridge holders in it, and that's purely for walking around a family farm, just in case I see some rabbits or any sort of pest, maybe like a fox. Again, it's a relatively small farm, so you can't really be shooting any centerfire stuff, so it's really the Rimfire that shines here, and it's probably the gun that I have the most rounds down on an individual basis. Now this one being the synthetic carbon is a little bit different. So I'm sure you can see it's got a synthetic sleeve, sorry, a carbon sleeve and a big old muzzle brake on it. Now I've actually loosened this up already. This is a little bit deceptive in this particular model. That just comes off. This is not a carbon wrap barrel. Now that doesn't bother me because I actually knew that before I bought it. The deal is so good that I really just couldn't say no to it. So if we have a look here, it's actually a blued barrel underneath and it's threaded. Now it's I'd say a medium weight barrel. For a 22, there's obviously a lot heavier barrels out there. This is still shot exceptionally well. It doesn't need to be some super sort of handy dandy carbon wrapped 24-inch barrel for these things to shoot good. It just doesn't. They're 22 long rifles. They're not, you're not going to be shooting 600 meters with them or anything like that. It's more than enough. This is really just an aesthetics thing. Now, what I did think was a little bit, maybe not dodgy, but was maybe communicated badly, was when these were originally sold. I know people bought these without being told or realizing that this is actually just a sleeve for aesthetics. And obviously being a bit disappointed, which is understandable. I mean, if you thought you were getting a carbon wrapped barrel, when I bought this a fair few years ago for $600 with a Nikon Sterling scope and some rings on it, I mean, you feel like you got the deal of the century, right? This particular one though, look, as a base gun, as a gun I've just carried around, the weight is good, it feels really nice. It's always shot exceptionally well. I think it was worth it. I knew what I was getting myself into, so I was quite happy to make that purchase. I probably will end up buying probably a stainless steel version of 457 at some point. I do also have a Browning T-Bolt and a Weatherby Mark 22 that are quite nice guns, but I mean, can you ever really have enough 22s? Or maybe I'll pick one up in 17 HMR just to offset the collection there a little bit. Now, I'll leave this sleeve off because it takes forever to screw down. A bit about the accuracy of this rifle. It really loves Fiocchi or Fiocchi TT ammo. This thing will shoot a ragged hole at 50 meters all day long. Even going out to 100, you'll be hitting rabbits, no issue at all. Would I use that ammo for that? Probably not, unless I'm really head shooting them. What I generally end up using is CCI mini mags, the hollow points out of this one. Although I have started using some Norma 22 long rifle ammo, both shoot extremely well. If I was gonna bet my life on a competition though, I'd be putting the Fiocchi 22 through it. Overall, this gun handles really well. It comes up to the shoulder very nicely. Good combination of weight to what you're actually getting. You obviously don't want it to be too light, because if it gets too light, you just end up throwing the gun around and being unstable. So it's nice and solid, but I wouldn't worry about giving it to a junior to carry around or take a shot with either. So I've got younger family members that have all shot this gun as well. I've never had any problems with it at all. At one stage, it got really, really dirty when I hadn't cleaned it for a few thousand rounds, where the bolt got a little bit sticky. But once I cleaned it, that sorted the issue right out. So overall, I'd say the CZ 455 is a fantastic gun. That extends to the 457s. I will grab a 457 for you guys, and I'll do a review on it as well. I've got a friend that's got one that can loan me one, or I'll end up buying one for the channel at some point anyway. Now, the only thing I would say is, if you have the option of buying one of these things over, let's say there's one that pops up cheap, and you've got a choice between this and a 457, I would say the 457 is probably a little bit of a better option if you're going hunting, just because that bolt throw can be a little bit quicker. Being shorter, I like a 60-degree bolt throw a bit better than a traditional one, but that's all personal preference. Quality-wise, I don't think they suffer anywhere at all. I think they're just as good a quality. I can keep up with anybody shooting a 457. To be honest, I can keep up with this particular rifle, and it might just be this example. I'm quite happy keeping up with people shooting Anschutz target rifles all day long. And I'm not the best shot in the world, and I don't claim to be by any means, but this gun shoots. And I find that most people that have CZs say the same thing. If you really want to get a substantial jump in accuracy, you're probably going to have to go up quite a bit of money, and you're probably going to have to go to something like an Anschutz, maybe a Voodoo Tactical, something along those lines, or even having sort of a custom gun built for you. Overall though, would I buy a CZ 455 again? 100% I would. Or the modern equivalent, which is the 457. In fact, yeah, I'm probably just going to grab one in 17 HMR just so I can round out the collection a little bit. If you guys have any questions or you want me to review any more Rimfires moving forward, just let me know. I've got plenty in the collection if you want to have a look at them. Thanks for joining me again today, and have a good night.